Being able to master the art of conversation is something all men want, but few men are able to achieve. The ability to talk to people and communicate with people is more powerful than it ever has been thanks to technology and social media. But talking is something that we do every single day, yet feels so awkward, or we just feel like we can't be like that smooth role model that we see in movies. Today, I'm going to be telling you how to never run out of things to say to a girl. And make sure that you stick around to the end of this video because I'll be giving you my best tip that you can apply right now to get 10 times better results and never run out of things to say when talking to anybody. But really quickly, I'm Selna Kim, America's face of dating, and I've helped over 100,000 people in 30 different countries attract and date the woman of their dreams. In my exclusive program Arrows, I teach men how to attract and date and even win back the woman of their dreams. Click the link in the description to talk to us and see if you're a great fit for the program and my exclusive help. The first thing that you need to understand about communication between man to man and also woman to woman even is that men speak very direct and women speak very indirect. Let's start with explaining direct communication. Men tend to speak very linearly. For example, hey, what's up, man? What are you doing? Oh, I'm good, man. I'm having a great day today. What are you doing today? Oh, I'm going to the bar, man. You want to come with? Yeah, sure. What time are you going? I'm going at 6 p.m. Awesome. I'll see you there. Notice how linear that conversation is. There's no Q&A. There's no emotion. There's no attachment to it. There's no spark to it. That's how men speak. Now, women, on the other hand, as stated, speak very indirectly. They talk more emotionally. They talk about how something makes them feel. And remember that for later, is that keyword feel. You need to remember that for the rest of the video. For example, hey Becca, guess what I just did? What'd you do? OMG, speaking of him, he texted me the other day and said that he wanted to go out with me. Can you believe that? OMG, this guy did the same thing when I was at the hair place, and then he literally asked me on a date afterward. But then while I was at the hair place, the foreign guy was talking shit about me in another language. It's literally so random, it feels like. But men need to understand this, and they need to talk to girls knowing that they are speaking through indirect language, and we'll explain that more towards the end of this video. It seems like girls just talk about things that most men just don't care about, or it just makes them bored. And that's why it's so difficult for men to understand, is that men are more going towards something in conversation and women are more in the present moment. Masculine energy is about direction towards an outcome, for example the date, while women are more about just showing up, looking hot, and having fun. But you must understand that this is just typical masculine feminine energy. Before you talk to a girl, you must always realize that she will talk about how something makes her feel. The second step to never running out of things to say is understanding that it's more about how you say it versus what you say. Our brains are naturally trying to label things and understand things. This gives us a sense of control over what we're labeling. And also, if we can't understand it, then it tends to spark our curiosity even more and makes our minds more focused on it until we're able to actually understand it. It will literally bother us. But this also works with people. What I explained to the guys in my program Arrows is that our brains are always making these snap judgments. And especially when we are speaking to somebody, we will make these snap judgments based on how they're saying something to determine whether they are high status or low status, which means that whatever they are saying, our brain is naturally taking this information in and then forming entire conclusions based on who this person is and if their confidence is high or low. This is literally a hack if you know this, because a lot of people say fake it till you make it, and it's because if you fake it and then you make it and you fake it very, very well, then people will naturally form conclusions about you that you are naturally confident, that you actually are high status even if you're faking it. Women specifically are looking at your eye contact, your body language, your tonality when you're speaking. And if these things are not congruent with what you're saying and how you're saying it, then she will probably test you or just assume that you're not confident and you're not who you're really saying you are. The third step is simply the open. This might be arguably the most important part. Some people say that if you start behind the 8-ball, then you will never get in front. And a lot also argue that first impressions are the most important because they will remember that for the rest of their lives. I believe that the open is also tied with one more thing for the most important part, which I'll tell you in the next couple steps. But most guys are very locked in their heads and they fear the rejection from the start. Fearing the rejection makes them very, very shy at the start of the conversation, or they just try to be too nice, which means that they start way down here and they want to potentially get a girl's number or even out on a date, but they have so much ground at this point to make up because they started in their own head and they have to work all the way up to this point that they want to get to. Just starting the conversation alone from at this point up here will give you a way higher chance of actually getting her number or really getting her out on a date or really whatever you want to do with her. And here's what this looks like. Instead of saying, hey, I thought you were pretty cute and I just wanted to come over and just ask for your number, or, oh, hey, my friend bet me that I couldn't come over here and get your number and talk to you, you instead say to her, oh my gosh, I almost wore the same thing tonight. That would have been so embarrassing. Maybe say this to a girl who's wearing a very unique outfit. Or you just say, oh really, a Long Island? You know what they say about girls who drink those, right? And she'll be like, what? And then you're like, never mind, you wouldn't get it. And she's like, no, tell me. And then you're like, oh my gosh, like, is this how you flirt with guys? You're so forward. Now you're just right into the conversation and it's flowing right from the start, which is what you want. And if you haven't yet, make sure you check out my best-selling book, Waking the Core of Man, because it has a lot of openers in there that you can use right now on really any girl to get the best reaction from her from the start. The fourth step is known as bridging. This is first used when you're talking to the really hot girl. And when I learned this from Far From Average, I actually thought it was a really smart idea. It's so effortless, it's so easy, you have to apply it right now. What he talks about is that most guys talk in close-ended statements, which means that when he's talking to a girl, he'll probably be something like this. Oh, cool. Oh, that must be really cool. Oh, that's nice. Oh, nice. That's really awesome. And then when you talk like that to her, she's probably thinking, okay, well, this guy's not really talking to me, so he must not really be that interested in me. When in reality, the guy's just probably nervous. But how you make bridging work is that whatever she says, you bridge it to a different conversation topic. For example, let's say that she's talking about a trip that she took to the British Virgin Islands for work. Then you can bridge this conversation or this sentence that she said to different conversation topics. For example, oh, she probably likes to travel, or oh, she must be a beach kind of girl. You then make a cold read about her that opens up this conversation to another. Remember that women cannot stand the guy that has linear conversations with her. Instead, she wants a conversation that is jumping from topic to topic very randomly. But let's take a look at a more difficult example of this. Let's say that she's a nurse, and you want to bridge the conversation topic to something else. What would you bridge this conversation topic to? I would bridge this conversation to maybe the fact that she's very caring for the people that she cares about. Or maybe the fact that what made her even got into nursing to begin with. Or the fact, and my favorite option, is that nurses tend to see very crazy things when they work, so maybe she can tell you some of those crazy stories. Because all people in the medical field always have at least one crazy story. Key tip. The fifth and final step is based on bridging, but it's called cold read teasing. One of the most important things that I ever learned about girls from Jason Capital is that you must always be present and grounded in the moment with her. If you can't think of anything to say, just say the truth. Geez, I can't think of anything to say. I guess you took my breath away. But seriously, I can't think of anything. Like, has that ever happened to you before? And she'll be like, yeah, this one time in school during this one presentation. You get the point. But cold read teasing is when you assume and also imply things about her that could be potentially flirtatious. For example, if she says, one of my favorite vacation spots is Cancun, and then you could be like, oh my gosh, I heard only the most fine women go down there. And she'd be like, yeah, that's pretty true. And then you could be like, well then, what are you doing down there? She'll probably slap your arm or playfully push you away. Remember, it's all about how you say what you say. Let's say, for example, that she works in a library. Then you could be like, oh, so you're a weird type of girl? Simply ask yourself, how could I take what she's saying and then imply something about her that's going to be very flirtatious? Or even imply something that's going to be very playful and make her react to what I'm saying. This is how to never run out of things to say in a conversation with any girl. If this video helped you and you want more of these videos, then make sure that you watch all of my other videos about flirting. And then let me know in the comments below some tips that you might have for other guys that are struggling with flirting with girls and even talking to girls in general. I'm Selna, America's face of dating, and I'll see you in the next video.